In today's class, we'll be discussing about computer language. Okay, you might be seeing here are the various computer languages. Actually, why do we need a computer language and what is the use of a language? Language is mainly used for communication. When you want to communicate with other person, you need a language. Either it could be English, French, Spanish, or it could be any language of that sort. Same way, when you want to communicate with a computer, when you want to give some work to a computer, you cannot give as such in your own language. Computer cannot understand French or Spanish or any language that we talk. That is a human language. We need a computer language to interact with a computer. The contents that we are going to discuss here are: what is the definition of computer language, types of computer language, and the two types of computer languages are low level computer language and high level language. Low level language is again split it up into first generation language and second generation language. High level language has three types, that is third generation language, fourth generation language, and fifth generation language. We are going to discuss in detail about this. Okay, what is a definition of a computer language? That means, what is a computer language? It is a user command to the computer to work on an algorithm. Algorithm means some specific structure which a user has written to get an output. Imagine if you want to write a paragraph, you will have some structure in your mind, right? First, you have to go sit in a place. You should find the things like pencil or pen and a paper for writing. First, you have to go sit, then you have to take it in your hand and you have to start writing. So, for writing, also, you'll have some, algorithm in your mind. Leave some space at the top, leave some space at the left side, and start writing, or you'll have some structure for doing it, but step by step you have to do. All of a sudden, without taking a pen, you can't write. So there is a structure that you have in your own mind for yourself. Same way, computer also has some steps to be followed in order to do a work. Only if you give it in a step by step manner, you will be able to get the output that you require. Okay, the types of computer languages. There are two types of computer languages. The first one is low level computer language. The second one is high level computer language. With the name itself, you can identify low level computer language means it is a very basic format. High level means an advanced format of computer language. A low level language actually means it is a basic computer instruction set architecture alone. Just like that, how it understand, it will respond it to you. But when you it gives you an output of its own idea, you will not understand what it is. Okay, there are two generations which follows in a low level language. First is first generation and second one is second generation. We are going to see what it is at the beginning. See, when you give some work to the computer, it will do it very fast and it will respond to you in this format 1000 111 like that. So usually all the data that is processed in a computer will be in zeros and ones, but we will never understand what it is. The first generation language consists of only zeros and ones. The actual language that the computer understands is a machine language. Actually, the zeros and ones are called as the machine language. For example, when you have a fan, you might be wondering, you don't have to relate it with a computer alone. Actually, when a fan is switched off, it is in zero state. When it is turned on, that is in on state. That means it will be working. So 0 and 1. So with this you can understand how it works. Can you see the first generation language? Can you imagine something like this when you use a computer? Then we are moving on to the second generation language, which is a low level assembly language. That means it can be read and written more easily by a humans. I mean, we can understand it because it has some letters. Okay, it's not, or it could be a basic words where that is used here. Okay, but it differs from computer to computer and from processor we are using, right? uh, i5 processor, i7 processor. So here in the olden days, when a computer this is operate, the assembly language differs from computer and processor. It is applied specifically, we cannot give it for all the systems. You can see here is a second generation assembly language. Okay, first it is given pack. Pack means it's a word that is used to convert a character to decimal. Okay, decimal means number. It converts a character into a number. That is a key word that is used over there. Then MP means it represents a memory location where those first two lines data has to be stored. SRP means shift and round packed. Actually, it shifts the data in a packed decimal field. That means it rounds off a number. Probably it could be 5.7, it's rounded up to 6, or it could be 7.1 rounded up to 7, or the data is rounded up. That is what it means. UNPK, that means the data is converted to decimal format, that is in a number format, but within a specific limit. Okay, you can see the data means X, FO, and all that. You can see very, if you see very carefully, you can understand it is like B is used, D is used, E is used, S is used, and all certain characters and some numbers are used over here. Okay, but it is a bit difficult to understand. Here are few examples of second generation languages. That's IBM PC, DOS operating system, Turbo Pascal compiler, spreadsheet program Lotus 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are few examples of second generation languages. Then we are moving forward to high level language. Actually, it is a strong abstraction of all the details in a computer. It uses a natural language elements, but it is more easier to use. Okay, it it is very simple and easier for the humans to read the computer instruction, and it is like an intermediator, like we are not giving as such, but we can give it in a format that computer can understand. Computer will also respond to you in such a way that you can understand. See, in a high level programming language, you can see sales price is equal to 1.66, and if the sale price is less than 2, then discount 0.1, or else you can discount 0.05. All this you can understand, right? This is how they will use it in a supermarket or something like that, and the computer will also respond it. And the third generation language, actually here in a computer program, words and commands are used. Okay, the syntax is given. Syntax means a structure. First you would have seen the semicolon, colon, the brackets and all that will be used in a syntax, and it is called as a high level language. The third generation language is only called as a high level language. Here you can see function, some name is given, then recruit is given, the array is given. One set array means a set of data. If else statement is used. Array as I told you, array means a set of data A, B, C, D, or whatever it could be. All that we can use it. You can use, this will be, you would have seen this in your computer itself. When it gets booted up or something, you can see some functions running up like this. And here are the examples of third generation languages, that is C++, Visual Basic, Java, JavaScript, and so on. Now I'm going to not explain everything in detail, just to give you a small glimpse of these computer languages. Okay, what is C++? Okay, that's the first one that I'm gonna make you understand, like how it is going to be done, because all these are the basic languages that you should know in detail. This is a specific formatted language which has a complete structure that is used over here. It is called as a middle level language, not a very high level language. It combines both high and low level language features. The various language features could be operators and operator overloading. What is operator? It's not a big deal for you to understand everything in a very complicated way. I'll tell you in a very simplified format. Okay, what is an operator? Operator means some symbols. Okay, it could be addition like plus, subtraction minus, multiplication in a cross format, and division slash. That is what is called operator, and it can be overloaded. That means more than one can be used. And there is something called templates. What is a template? Template means, imagine we are using some function in a class. Okay, I'll tell you, it is a rewritten code for each one. Okay, imagine if you want to write addition of two languages, we'll say it could be, imagine instead of numbers we are going to use letters. So it is, if you want to say 5 plus 1 is equal to 6, instead we'll say a plus b is equal to c. That means instead of 5 we are using a, instead of 1 we are using b, and instead of 6 we are going to write c. So that a plus b is equal to c. That means in that we can say instead of 5 and 1 we can give 2 and 1. So the output will be 3. Okay, so in just like that we can give a coding. That means c is equal to a plus b, like that we can give. The numbers can vary, but we don't have to change the code for that. Then there is something this is what is called as a template. Instead of numbers we'll replace it with letters, but we don't have to change it for each time. You can give any number but you'll get an output. Okay, then there is something called objects. Objects means these kind of coding can be given within a specific word. We'll create a class, then we'll give some functions below it, and you can reuse it at any time. You can call off that object. Okay, then polymorphism. As soon as I told you in the beginning, you imagine c is equal to a plus b, you can change the plus sign to minus symbol. That means c is equal to a minus b. So little only the symbol will change, but the same concept will be using. That is called same element is used for different concepts. That is called polymorphism. All these features are included in C++. Okay, you can see over here, int means integer, main means the component, cout means the element that is displayed outside. Enter the size of array. Int means the size, you can enter any size that you like. So the size may vary, but you can give the data. This is you can just see an example so you'll understand it in a better way. Okay, next one, Visual Basic. Visual Basic, in the beginning I told you c is equal to a plus b, integer, all that we have to do it by our own self. You have to learn the structure, only then you can do this. Visual Basic means you don't have to do any coding as such. You have to just drag and drop the box, or you can design it in your own way. Here the software development is very easy, and it is more advanced program, and it is more executable. Okay, I'll show you how it is. You can see here pointer, background worker, button, checkbox, all that data will be available over there, and there will be a place where you can drag and drop. In the gray color window you can drag and drop it as you wish. Okay, however you want to design your software, you can do it over here very easily. Then we are moving on to fourth generation programming language, which is mainly a class of language. I already told you earlier. Here multiple common operation can be performed with a single programmer entered command. With the same command many operation can be executed. Okay, actually here moving forward we will not be having a proper structure and all that. Whatever you want you can give. That is it is more human based. Okay, the examples of fourth generation language are SQL, Perl, Python, Ruby, something like that. First, I'll be telling each one example alone, I'll explain it in an elaborated way. SQL. SQL means structured query language, not very complicated and all. It is mainly used for storing, manipulating, or retrieving the data in a database. Database. What is a database? I'll tell you. Imagine when you imagine a supermarket, you'll have a list of items, and there will be a count for each item. Okay, I imagine there are pencils, 500 pencils are there, 400 pens are there, eraser 300 erasers are there, like that there will be a list of all the data in a supermarket. Could be any powder or whatever it could be, everything will be there. It is related with each one. They'll have a relational database. Means imagine stationery item will be separate, or it could be all the cosmetic item can be separate. All that will have a different database, but it will have all the data which will be linked. So whenever they put a they execute a bill, they'll reduce one count from each one. How much ever you buy, maybe you can buy 5 pencils, and 5 will be reduced from the pencil count. You might get a lipstick, that means in a cosmetic section one lipstick will be reduced, like that the whole thing will be managed. Okay, that is called structured query language. You can see over here sales, product name, total quantity, and all that will be given. Okay, can you see list of products? Then you can choose anything that you want, and you can execute it in a very easier way. Here actually create view, all that will be given. Only the quantity or product ID, all that you have to give as an input. It's a structured one, so you don't have to learn the structure over here, it will be already there. Okay, then we are moving on to fifth generation languages, which is a problem solving using constraint given to the program. Actually, it has an algorithm written by the programmer. Okay, it is more constraint based. All the logical programming languages, actually it will not have a structure will be inbuilt. You don't have to learn the structure or anything. You just have to give your own logic statement, how to reduce or how to increase and how you want it to be. All that you have to give. Okay, the examples are Mercury, Prolog, OPS5, and so on. Mercury is a functional logic programming language which is made for real world uses. Okay, it will be strong, static, polymorphic type. I told you it has different format. It is a strong mode and deterministic system. It has a syntax and some basic concept. It's using a selective linear definite clause resolution, that is a SLD algorithm. Okay, you can see here that input, foundation, imports, app-kit, all that namespace, all that blue color, all this whole thing will be given for you. You just have to give your own commands as per your wish, and you can execute the program. Okay, this is a recap of what we learned. You know the definition of computer languages, and you know the various types of computer language. A low level language, first generation language, we'll know what's a machine language, that means zeros and ones. Second generation language includes assembly language. High level language includes third generation language, in that we saw C++ and Java. Fourth generation language includes SQL, and the fifth generation language includes Mercury. I mean, all these things we have seen. Okay, that's all for today's class. Thank you so much.